Welcome to the CFG Gamecast, episode number 41, a weekly podcast created by gamers and streamers alike to discuss the latest gaming topics from the previous week. We stream a new episodes on the weekends and release it on podcast services like Apple and Google Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, and Podbean. Or you could go to our main website, thecfg.net, to see all other content from the previous times. So give us a like, a follow, a comment, what have you, to any of those services to not miss an episode. I am Davis Green with CFG Games himself, and we are with my two awesome co-hosts as always. I have Lex on the second seat. What's going on? Lex?
I think you're muted.
Am I muted?
Lex is muted.
I muted myself. Hi. Just kidding. I'm doing great. Just been hanging out, playing games. Yesterday was my day off. Made some cookie dough. So if you want some, Smitty, let me know. But yeah, just been hanging out and doing games.
You said you got cookie dough, but you're cooking it. So wouldn't that make it a cookie at this point?
No, I said I made cookie dough.
Oh, you made cookie dough. I thought you were baking it.
Oh, I baked some, but we already ate that batch.
Oh, okay, good.
When I make cookie dough, it's like a lot.
Oh, so
that I can just freeze it and then put it in the fridge and cut it up when we want it.
So you just bring loads of it, like a whole mound of cookie dough. That sounds dangerous. Yeah. So, I definitely got that. But that's cool. So anything new? Anything you've been playing recently?
Yeah. We were playing Deceit last night as like we were doing like a Discord party. Mm-hmm. We moved from mine to another streamer's Discord, and there was like 15 of us that's just hanging out, like all playing different games. But there was like I think at one point a group of 6, and we were playing Deceit. Just be aware, if JTZ isn't screaming, he's lying. If you play with him, just be warned, because he'll pretend that he's not a bad guy, and you can hear it in his voice. You can hear it. He's a liar. But we had a lot of fun. And then Panda and I played some Monster Hunter. He's getting through the story, so my character was trying to help as much as she possibly could at that point. But yeah, we were just hanging out last night. It was a lot of fun.
Y'all playing on PC or were you playing on console for that one, for Monster Hunter?
PC.
Oh man, you just gotta play that game right. Play it on console with me.
I have it on console. What are you talking about? I have it on console. I'm endgame.
You don't have the expansion? Not on the console?
Do I look like I'm made of money?
That's what's my problem. That's the problem. It's like we can't play because we're in two different places. That's why we can't play.
I also have really bad hand arthritis,
so
I am slowly backing away from console, but I am playing Persona at night. But I can just put it in my lap and press buttons when I want. I don't have to like fully, immerse my hands in it. So yeah,
fair enough. Good deal.
I've never actually mentioned it to you, Lex, but I have it on PC. I just don't have the expansion.
Oh, look at this, man. Y'all are just like trying to give me reasons to get it on PC, I promise.
I won it in a giveaway on Twitter. I won a copy on PC. I totally have a new character. I have a character on PC.
Smitty, you need to like focus on the Game Pass 15 just in general, period.
20 bucks, I'll play it for you, and I'll get you to the good parts so we can do sieges and stuff.
Do you think that I'm made of money? I don't have the expansions. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to pay $40 for it.
He hates the storyline. He hates the storyline. He just wants to kill things.
I'm not going to, yeah. Well, the storyline was terrible. But anyway, it would digress. And we on the third...
You better move on.
Yes.
Monster Hunter World Story is like Davis's version of Anthem for Smitty. It just always turns. It just turns into an argument every time, though.
You don't. I know you don't hate Anthem. Is this Anthem really disappointed you? That's all we. I mean, we know. I mean, there's no other way that we can describe the disappointment. Is your level of disappointment you had for that game? True. By the way, we got on the third seat the 5-star general of the itty bitty Smitty committee. We got Smitty on the third seat. What's going on, buddy?
Chilling, my friend. I ended up having to cut stream short this past Friday. However, on Thursday, I had the opportunity through noise.gg to sign up for this basically is just came out in early access. It's called Last Oasis. I'm actually going to talk about it today. But so we were playing that and whatnot, and it's a lot of fun. It's a pretty cool game. It's different. I'm not really too big in like survival MMO styles, which it is, but of course, having playing it with friends and bunch of you guys have it and stuff like that. I'm having a blast, but we'll talk more about it here in a little bit.
Yeah, that's cool. No, that's cool. I mean, I know. I played a little bit of it with you that day too, and we had a good time. It was just me and the three of us, so we had a good time. Just to have, just to add more into it.
Rub that salt. Just rub that salt.
I wasn't rubbing that salt. I didn't mean to. At least I didn't inadvertently mean to. It was funny, but still, but still, I mean, but it was good. It was good. Well, I can't wait to hear your topic on that. As for me, I've just been incredibly, as always, busy as always. Although I did, however, was able to have 2 different days I was able to stream, so I was actually proud of myself. Yeah, nice. I haven't been able to stream for the past month almost. It was crazy, and originally I promised I was going to release the video review of Persona 5 Royal on Friday. I apologize for that for the people who go on the website confreaksandgeeks.com, but we will release it tomorrow, and so definitely check that out if you like it. Definitely do us a favor and tell us what you think about it. So we'll get on to it. We'll just keep on going. And let's get into the nice meat and potatoes of the review. So, as always, each of us chooses a new topic or discussion from the previous week. The topic would or could be about a specific game or something that happened in the gaming industry. We don't want to talk about it amongst ourselves. We want you, the listeners or the viewers on the stream, to be a part of the conversation. So, if you do have an opinion, no opinion's too dumb, no opinion's too great. Just definitely post it on there. We would love to have you to interact with us on our conversation. So feel free to do it. And also, just an update alert: we are 9 away from getting close to affiliate status. So definitely give us if you definitely love what you hear, definitely do us a favor, give us a follow on Twitch so we can hit that goal and we can actually do some more awesome things in the future. So there you go. Anyways, let us get this party started. So Smitty, what do you bring into the table? To no surprise.
So, like I said, I had the opportunity to play this game, Last of Us.
You always say Last of Us.
I keep doing that.
Always.
The Last of Us.
I can't get that out of my head. Clearly, I'm ready for part 2. But today we're going to talk about Last Oasis. It's a survival MMO game, like we were saying. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like a Conan or something like that. I had the opportunity to be able to stream it here the other day. Playing with you guys, played with Doc, Dust, a bunch of other people got it. Lucaru, I know Lex has it now. LV Girl has it. So, I mean, there definitely seems to be a thriving. This is a smaller developer. It's called Donkey Crew out of Poland.
Donkey Crew? That's amazing.
Yeah, I know, that is hilarious.
Donkey Crew. Donkey Crew and the boys.
Donkey Crew?
Yeah. Welcome to the DC Crew.
So, basically, and the unique thing about it is that, again, it's an MMO survival game, essentially. However, the premise of the story is that the world has stopped and now the sun is encroaching and burning things up. So essentially you have to build these walkers. You saw it in the background there, that you can travel with, and you can, they start being able to upgrade and you can build bigger ones. Cause essentially it's a nomadic style of play. So basically your camp or your base, you can put on, the back of your cart or in your vehicle and take it along with you as you move from oasis to oasis. So I thought that aspect of it was pretty interesting. For this being a early access pre-alpha build, like, it's pretty clean. However, we've run into some issues Now their servers the last 2 days, I haven't been able to. I know Dust hasn't been able to log into their servers. And Dust, thank you for checking up on this. He actually just sent something here a little bit ago to me, and I wanted to pull it up real quick. We just got word from their developers. They just put something out, so I wanted to just play that real quick, because what's happening right now is that the it's hit or miss as far as server wise. I think they underestimated. I mean, again, it's hard to estimate, like we were talking about before, how many people are really going to go on. But there's a lot of there's a streamer push and this and that, and I think there was a lot more interest in this game, and there has been, than what their servers can handle and what they anticipated. So they've been having major issues. They basically, and I'm going to go to it here in a second, are saying that they're going to take 7 days to work on the servers. Let's listen to this, and then let's come back. I want to see what your guys' thoughts.
Hi everyone, Chad's here from Donkey Crew. I'm sure you noticed that our server issues are still ongoing. Many of you are currently not able to connect to Last Oasis. So we decided two things. First of all, we are going to take the servers off for roughly 7 days. Our coders have been working day and night to resolve this issue, and they need some sleep. We need to properly investigate why our load testing didn't pick this up and what went wrong, and figure it out properly and solve it. And the other thing, well, a lot of you mentioned this is not high and early access game should launch, and we fully agree. This is absolutely not high and early access game should launch. So we decided that everyone who is currently unhappy with the state of the game should get a full refund regardless of their in-game hours, no questions asked. So just head to Steam to do that. We also received some positive messages, which were very nice to hear in all of this chaos, so thank you for those. We promise we are going to deliver. Many people said that this game is great, they just want to be able to play it. So we'll deliver on that promise as soon as possible. We are really, truly sorry about this situation. We'll resolve it, and thanks for your patience. Thanks.
There you go. So I thought their handling of this, again, they've been transparent. Everybody's been seeing and feeling the issues. The game, again, it came out, was it Friday? It was the 26th, Thursday or Friday is when it came out.
The 26th.
And we were able to play, and then like slowly the server started having, we were dropping on like 4 FPS and stuff like that. So you could clearly see that there was an issue, but I think they're seeing that the issue, whatever they're experiencing is bigger than what they thought. I like the fact that they're able to take a breath, like address the community. Hey guys, we understand, but we think it's necessary for us to do this to correctly solve the issue and get you guys back in to playing the game. So I kind of wanted to see what your guys' thoughts were as far as with that and just the game in general.
Okay, first of all, I will say execution-wise, this is probably the best way I've ever seen, a developer that sees an issue. It's bad news. I mean, it is bad that people aren't going to get what they were expecting to get in any way. But as opposed to what we've always had, when something has happened that has critically failed, or something big that has failed, we're not left in the dark, to a point where it's like, oh wow, what this because it would have been worse if the people who spent $30 on this game, it was $30, right? I believe. Yeah. So
25.
Oh, 25. Yeah. So the people who spent money in this game and then they didn't get their services, and then all of a sudden they just shut down, and then they just said, oh, we're having some difficulties, and then they don't really go into that level of what's going on, like how long is it going to be down for. Like, it would have been a lot worse than what's happening right now. So kudos to them on that. I'll definitely give them props to that. And what really sucks though too is that this game, especially, this was it's not officially out on Steam yet. It's technically on the test. It's the pre-release of it, and to say, and then they've been stouting that this is just an alpha build, which is even crazier, because when Smitty and I played this, I was saying repeatedly during that time of the play, I was like, this doesn't feel like an alpha. This feels more like a beta. And then, and that's saying a lot, because the way it was smoothly running, and it was probably because the servers were not packed, but like how everything that was running in this game was so nice and was very smooth. So if they're going to figure out to make it more stable for a bigger community, then so freaking be it. I can wait the 7 days, and I'm pretty sure anyone can at this point in time, because there's so much out there. So, but like the big thing is that, yeah, I really think that they did a great job on communicating what's going on their side and what their plan of action is to get this fixed. So there's it sucks, but I would definitely, this is something this is not making me as mad to say I'm not going to give them my money for an unfinished product or something like that. This makes me actually say, okay, I'll wait and then see when it comes out. I'll still give it a chance. What about you, Lex?
Sorry, I was trying to get Adam to go grab Dax. He's screaming. So Adam told me that Smitty was like, hey, I got a key, come play with me. And that he was like, it kind of looks like industrial, and I'm so excited because Adam's all big into like industrial punk and anything to do with like Egyptian history. So that piqued his interest right away. I can tell you, Adam will sit and play a game for quite a long time, but usually he'll get up and like come over and say hi to me. He was gone for the entire day, didn't say a word to me, didn't get up to eat. I had to go to him and ask him. I was like, do you want to eat something? He was like, no, I'm good. He was going crazy on this game and he loved it. So that's a big deal. And if you guys don't know my lovely partner, he is one judgy little you-know-what. So, and that goes for people in games. He's one of the sweetest people, best person I've ever met in my life. But he will be very honest. And yesterday, he was like, yeah, we're taking turns trying to get on the server. I'm really sad about it. And he was like, I know Smitty's trying to, but Smitty's been playing Destiny. And I want him to play this with me. And Lucaro keeps putting stuff in the basket. And I was like, I don't know what that means, but okay. So, he was really sad that he couldn't play yesterday. So that's like a huge like A+ on their part. I had no idea this was an alpha. I thought this was a full release. It looks great. And I love the storage aspect of it. It looks very much like Path. So, that gives an extra star from me. How they handled it is amazing, because here's the deal. A lot of developers, like, stuff goes down and it's like, okay, it's been a week, what's going on? And it's just dead silence. Whereas they were upfront, they came out, they were honest, and that's awesome. I know it's hard to test your servers. I've complained about this how many times now?
A lot. You've done it a lot every time it's come up.
Yeah. Look, you should test your servers. However, if this is an alpha, I get it. That's kind of a different situation, right? Because they were aware that this is an alpha. This isn't even in beta. This isn't a full release. This is a game that they are testing to see if it works. And, that's what this is for, right? Like, this is what alphas are for, to see how hard the push is going to be. And I don't think that's amazing that they were just overwhelmed by people, because that means that they're going to have return people.
They underestimated they underestimated the amount, which is a good problem to have, but at the same time, though, like I guess the weird caveat is I'm not a big fan of when people when they sell incomplete, like not a complete product, because that's now saying the person who spent that money is feeling obligated. Like the saving grace that they have on this is the fact of how is their level of transparency of what's happening. Because normally normally how normally games run like this, that does not exist. So to say that because in any other certain situation, to say that you put in that much money, or you put in $30 or $25 or whatever, and then you didn't get what you were wanting, usually people are immediately pissed on this, and then let alone saying that this thing's gonna be down for 7 days, that people will be like aggravatedly angrier. So I guess I'm not that's the one thing that I'm always kind of iffy on, is like what like if y'all are still actively working on this, why are y'all asking for money in advancement for it? Like, is this money being used for the current production of what's being done? Because if that's the case, that's kind of scary, because you don't know if it will ever be done or anything. So that's the only deal.
But the game,
Go ahead,
Smitty. No, you go.
I was gonna say, and we've kind of had that conversation too before, talking about games that you purchase early access or whatever. And I mean, essentially, they're going away from a testing model where they used to just give it out for people to beta test and whatnot to hey, pay to be a beta tester. Which I mean, it's like I don't know, but again, I think the saving grace about this is them being open about it and how they are managing it right now. I think there's also a kudos to their marketing team or whoever is doing the marketing for them, getting it into the hands of all these streamers and letting them have access to it. I think has had a huge surge, especially in the current situation that's going on around the world, and everybody is indoors and whatnot. More eyeballs are out there and looking at this stuff. I think that is a direct impact of that. So good job to them as far as with that. Now they just gotta reevaluate and try to compensate for the explosion that they didn't anticipate, and we'll see how they go about it, and how they address things, because again too, you're also now building this new community. There's now a new community of this game that exists now, right? So not only is this going to be a representation of this indie company and their game, this is also going to be, we get to see how this new community reacts. Is it going to be toxic like you've seen in some communities, or are they, it's always nice seeing these it's really like the birth of something new, and we're getting to see it in its infancy.
Right.
No, go for it.
Go ahead.
No, go for it. I already talked a lot.
I mean, and Anna makes a really good point. Like, a lot of games, they do like free weekends. They do a lot of different testings. Charging for it at this point, I mean, here's my question: do they have a GoFundMe? Probably not. God,
I hope not.
And these are assumptions. These are assumptions I'm making. I'm not looking at it right now, but like, they probably don't have a GoFundMe. It's probably just a small crew. And I understand the reason that they're charging for it from that aspect. The game looks fantastic, though. I mean, look at it. This is an alpha. Shut up. I've seen alphas that are not even close to this before. You know what I mean? And I feel like these guys, they're passionate about what they're doing. They love what they're doing, and it looks fantastic. Come on, that's
and don't get me wrong. Even on the look of it, I mean, like literally, Smitty and I played this like late. It wasn't like how we normally do it. We played it like I played it at 11 o'clock my time, and we played for like 4 hours. So the game is addicting, and the game is does play like reminded me immediately of Ark, but like I never really got into Ark comparatively. But to this, like the nomadic feel, the fighting, the abilities that you like the equipment that you make is freaking awesome, and like and it's a very good game. It's like the style of the game and what they were wanting to do is done very well. Even the regular fighting, it was actually kind of there was a mechanic to it too. So I was just so definitely I would be patient. I'm willing to be patient for this game. I mean, I'm not worried or fret about with the 7 days. What's cool is that it's not like they're improving the servers so they can keep the capacity up. So that's a good thing, if anything. And God, we all, since we're in this situation with COVID-19, I know we all have backlogs, so I mean, so we can keep ourselves occupied. Just give it some time and then go with it. But like for the most part,
yeah,
I
enjoy it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Mad Mark says I like this. I like it. It's like, as long as it's not like, it's like as long as it's not in like another No Man's Skies, I don't mind. So, well, you know what? No Man's Skies now
it had a nice redemption arc, though. Yeah, exactly.
No Man's Skies now is like is worth it, but like No Man's Skies when it first came out, I totally agree, because like how No Man's Skies treated it, and let alone how the way No Man's Skies treated it was even worse. So it was like, hey, the game's out. Then there was 6 months of silence, like because they knew that they didn't give what they promised initially, and then they were just trying to like hide behind the drapes there, just pretending to see that they're not there, but they were actively working to make it what they were promising. The only wish I had was that they were just straight up about it. That's all I wish. It's like you kind of have to give some people that level of benefit of the doubt, and I know the where we live, the time that we live in, especially with trolls and everything. But it still has to be done, man. That's just what it has to be. Because I mean, now most people are giving they're giving this company these people like a level of leniency comparatively than I don't think that they would have ever thought. So we'll see. Oh, all right.
Interesting.
All right, Lex, you're up at bat. What are you bringing to the table?
Well, if you guys remember, especially for us avid video gamers, you might have had, in 2018, a family member come and talk to you about how gaming is an addiction because the World Health Organization deemed it so, gaming disorder in 2018. Well, fun fact, Health Organization has now come out and said a prescription for not being able to play with your friends would be to go play video games, right? So now they're backtracking and they're saying, oh, you're all stuck inside. And, a healthy way to social distance is to play video games with each other. So they've teamed up. I'll read a little bit of the article. Video games are being prescribed as a recommended treatment for our ongoing homebound existence brought on by the corona pandemic. Game makers from Activision, Blizzard to Zynga, I think I'm saying that incorrectly, Zynga?
Zynga. Zynga.
There you go.
Yeah, Zynga.
Yep. Yeah. Zynga on Saturday began kicking off a new initiative entitled #PlayApartTogether to encourage people on how to entertain themselves and also practice physical distancing. The initiative, supported by the World Health Organization, also known as WHO, is particularly noteworthy because WHO previously designated video games as an addiction as an official mental health disorder. But the group hopes that the industry can reach millions with important messages to help prevent the spread of COVID. The WHO ambassador for global strategy, in a statement, game companies will encourage players to stay distanced and observe other safety measures, including hand hygiene, he said. I find this really interesting. I mean, obviously for us gamers, that was just kind of an obvious. It was like, well, now I've got all this time to go back and play games I didn't get to play, right? And people have been telling me I'm bored in the Discord or I want someone to talk to. Here's my thoughts. Like, gaming obviously was one of my first options when I thought about it, but also I've got boxes in my garage I can go through that need to be gone through. I have weeds to go pick. I'm still getting over the sickness, a cold or flu, whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. So I still feel really weak, so I didn't want to go outside and start doing heavy duty work. So I've been inside playing games, and it's just kind of like an obvious for us. But for those people that don't necessarily play games, it's funny. I got a text right before we went live. My mom's childhood best friend, and my mom's 65. Okay, her best friend Pampy, her husband Jeff, who's much younger, I think he's maybe 40 in his 40s, wow. Messaged my mom and asked what my Twitch profile was so that he could come and hang out. This is where it's going, right? So, I mean, it's just so funny to me. Like, my Uncle Gary came by the other night, and like he didn't want to message in chat. He was like, I feel like an old fart, and I don't know what pog means. So he messaged me on Facebook and was like, oh, you're really good at it. I was like, thanks. Did you expect anything less? My father. But it's so funny to me. And then now my Uncle Gary's like, you can play Uno online with other people? I'm like, yeah, dude, get Uno, we'll play. He's like, how do I get it? I'm like, well, you download Steam and you do this and you do that. And so now I've got, my dad's best friend playing Uno with me. And I'm like, guys, I got work I got to do. Like, I'm backlogged on other stuff too. But it's just, I find it so funny that WHO, or World Health Organization, is completely backtracking. They're like, well, how do we keep people inside? Because the people are still not taking this seriously. And if we don't social distance, it's not going to get better. You know, and it sucks, but this is like the situation that we're in right now. And, you know, and, you know, they go on and say video games are not just a diversion, but, you know, they get your imagination going and yada, yada, yada. And it's just...
Well, it's like...
I find it interesting.
Well, the irony of it, it's like, okay, yeah, you're totally right. I mean, I'm already, like... It's funny because it's like, it's so easy to blame gaming to be an issue, or to be an issue for a lot of things like gun violence and all these different kinds of stupidity throughout the years. And then let alone when the World Health Organization was claiming that it's a disease of some sort, is just like, was just so far-fetched to me. It's beyond my like, you know, just my deal. Just thinking about it just kind of irritates me to just think to that. So, but then now the same organization that says that was saying that to push it towards people, it's like, it feels like the reason why they're backtracking is that they're trying to find an excuse or a reason, which but that kind of gives it a gray line, in my opinion, for trusting the World Health Organization. Because like if that's the case, then you're telling me that basically they could easily retract kind of what they were saying before about one thing and then back it out, because depending on the situation, it could be either better or it could be worse. And then like to say now that it's like, oh no, it's perfectly fine now because of, given the fact that it's COVID-19, since COVID-19's out, and then you're keeping your brain active and stuff, it's good because of that circumstance. But when there's not corona outside, then it's like, okay, then we're going then it's a problem. It's like you kind of lost your credibility with that kind of stuff. So like it's just put it to the table on just people just making an excuse or a loophole, because like when you say that it's a disease, then people now have a reason on blaming it because of that. And Absolutely. Then so, and I never when I heard it originally, I was like, this is ridiculous. It's not a disease. It's just people is playing too it's not a matter of a person needing to live towards it. So it's so annoying. It's so annoying to hear about that. What do you think, Smitty?
I believe that's called addiction.
That
is an addiction.
Out.
Yeah, it's an addiction. Not a disease.
I think you hit it right on the head there.
Addiction
when you
is
said
a mental health disorder in its own way.
In a way, but it's not necessarily.
It's not like playing video games means you
exactly.
Like,
I don't think it's specific.
I play tons of video games, but I'm not an addict. Like, there's a difference. Right. It's just like how some people gamble in like Vegas and stuff, but not everybody's there because they're addicted to gambling.
Or they call gambling a disease, let alone. Yeah. I mean, like, if that was the case, it's so ridiculous. So I mean, I'm sorry. What were you saying, Smitty? Your point.
No. So I think you're right. It just really exposes the hypocrisy and to me really lessens their credibility, as far as, you know, you can't on one end say, oh, this is, you know, all that stuff and this or that, you know, and then come back and say, oh, well, while you guys are inside, like, it shouldn't be based off of a situational thing, because now you're telling me two different things, that is good and it's bad, right? Which, I mean, is true about, everything.
Oh, yeah,
you know, but how you frame it,
video games anyway, when all this stuff first started happening, was just people clutching their pearls at technology.
It always is the case, though.
This new scary technology, these video games. Ooh.
Yeah, well, and that's one of the things too. I said this is going to force people.
Every time there's like new advancements in society, or people are more open about things. Like, being gay used to be considered a mental disorder too. Like, all this stuff. Like, all the time, people just like to call things mental disorders because they don't understand it, or like they're afraid of things. Like, if women had emotions, they used to say that was a whole disorder on its own, and it's like, it's not.
Oh, hysteria.
Like, it's hysteria, which was resolved with drugs and vibrators.
Right. Or
Like,
I mean, shoot, I mean, even and I feel like there's like a long history of that too, where one thing that was legal or this was the mentality. You know, it's like the times change.
Times change, yeah. Same with like stuff with like weed.
Well, overall, though, this is just like, I
Like,
mean, but come on, it's just the same
there's
kind of
so
stupid
many
nonsense.
examples.
Yeah,
Yep.
but no, but it's just I mean, but it's just the nonsense that, like I said, it's always common to see when something happens, when something bad happens, when a school shooting happens, it's always the first point to blame of it is because it's always usually gaming. And back in '92, when they created the ESRB because of freaking people like Ken Starr back in the day, because they saw one game or two games, I'm sorry, Mortal Kombat and Sewer Sharks. When that came out, they basically that whole people flipped their lids on it, saying that, wow, this kind of violence is like uncalled for. And then even let's go further back, when they thought that rock and roll was the devil and that kind of stupid stuff. So I mean, it's just a matter of like
Dungeons and Dragons with Satanism.
Yeah, so right. I mean, it's just a matter of people with the level of misunderstood. But that's a difference between people with society, with the old cronies. With society's not accepting that, but to say that the World Health Organization, to say that it's a disease, as opposed to, like, you know, I don't know, like I said, gambling. Would you consider, does anyone consider gambling a disease or an addiction? Or does anyone consider like certain people like a food, is it a food disease when you eat too much? I mean, I'm a fat ass and stuff. You could be addicted to it, but you can't call it a disease itself. That's not saying like, oh, we need some prescribed kind of pills. That's what really kind of pisses me off about this. What pisses me off even more about it is how they're backtracking on it, and that's what that's where it's like, oh wait, we'll put a pin on what we were talking about on saying this is officially a disease, because this is very good for people to keep their minds preoccupied instead of going outside into to the outside world. So like for me, I'll be like, okay, whatever, like any crap that you say in your out of y'all's mouths, World Health Organization, I won't take it seriously, because I mean, like when because unless it's like something that I read that like I check myself to say like, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. Then or a reference to a doctor or something to say a legitimate doctor. It's like then what you're basically sprouting is just saying, you're just saying it to say it. So I mean, I don't know.
Well, and it's funny because I remember when in 2018 I had 2 deaths in my family, so I had to fly to Houston, and at that point, like, I was streaming and I was just starting out and I hadn't quit my job yet, because my health was still better than it is now. Mm-hmm. But I told my grandma, like, this is what I'm doing as a hobby on the side. And she's 90, and she kind of stopped for a moment and she goes, "Get out of here." And I said, "No, like I'm that's what I'm doing." And she goes, "So it's kind of like my game Hand and Foot, which is a card game, right?" She's like, "I play that 6 days a week with my girlfriends." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. You never answer a phone call because you're always playing it." But she's like, "So it's kind of like that, but you're online and people are watching you do that." And I said, "Yeah." And she goes, "I get it." So if my 90-year-old grandmother can understand something, because, you know, the first thing, here's the thing, is a lot of people are sheep. They read everything and they believe it automatically without doing other research, right? And that's what I always tell people. Knowledge is power, and the more you know, the better. And you're always going to find differing opinions, but just because it's published on US Today or the World Health Organization puts it out there, it's not necessarily true. It's not necessarily, they haven't been able to do all of the testing to come out and legitimately say yes or no on certain things, okay? Right. Because gaming is still kind of new. If you think about it, like when the first games came out until now, for studies, it would be in its like teenage years, right? Mm. So they would need another good 12 years to do, because the violent games are still somewhat new, right? Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, name a bunch of others, regardless. You know what I mean? They haven't been able to do full studies that are 12 years, and that's how they get all of these hypotheses and information. Like, it's just not there yet. And so it's funny that these people who are leaders in our health organizations are just throwing out stuff, but then backtracking and going, you know, we said reading a book. Why don't you play video games? and I've told people I have a huge book list. If you guys want to read books and you're tired of video games, because you're going to get tired of them eventually, you know, and not everybody has money to buy a bunch of games that they've always wanted to play. They're playing what they already have, right? Because most of us have been laid off. We don't have the extra money. And I have book lists that you can read if you want. But, everyone wants to be online right now. So that was my topic. I know it got a little...
No, it's basically, it just comes into
it's important to all of us, so...
It affects, especially affects a lot of people on Twitch on it. It's actually it's more welcoming on, the one thing I'm glad about, with this is with them showing it is how they're showing their true colors. So I'm definitely that's the one thing I'm definitely glad to see. It's like, oh, okay, you freaking hypocrites.
Yeah, right. So now we're the good guys. Shut up.
Yeah.
But if you are streaming on Twitch, there's so many new people on there. Yeah. I can't tell you. And the demographic is just shooting through the roof. My dad's been on Twitch. My dad's been hanging out. His friends have been hanging out. The demographic, now the boomers are coming out because they're bored. Solitaire is not enough for them anymore. So, be prepared. And that's awesome. Great for them, because look, this isn't scary. This is where technology is taking us. And if you either go with it or you can sit in your corner and cry about it, right? And I think a lot of people now are just so bored that they're like, why not? I'll give it a shot. You don't have to do anything. You can just hang out. Right. This is just the first month. And I've already had an influx of new people who are brand new to Twitch. They've never been here, you know?
Yeah.
It's great.
It's good. Well, that's cool. Well, that's good. No, it's a good topic, Alex. We'll go with that. So
What about you, CFG?
My topic is nowhere near as good as that. So it's going to be.
Sorry.
My topic is about. I was just reading it up just to see because when what's going on, going back to the COVID-19 or coronavirus. I was wondering, what is the timeline for the next gen systems? And I was kind of was wondering, there has to be some sort of level of possibility of a delay or something that's happening, because this is not the best climate to do it.
Can't manufacture something if everyone's sick.
Exactly. And but it's funny because apparently Sony and Microsoft actually posted something, because they were getting a lot of bombardments about that too. So I don't know how they were, or I don't know who would be wasting their time on letting them know that's hey, so is the system coming out? Is the system coming out? It's no. But anyways, so they officially said, both Sony and both Microsoft said that the next gen consoles, PS5 and Xbox Series X, is not it's not affected by the coronavirus pandemic, which is surprising to me. So I was like, what, really? So apparently this was something that was on Games Radar, and this was I believe this is a Sony one. Oh yeah, Sony released a statement on Monday, last Monday, talking about it. They clarified that they're carefully monitoring the risk of delays in production schedules for game software titles at both its first party studios and its partner studios, and then they were indirectly referencing The Last of Us 2, Ghost of Tsushima, and all the other ones. And that's what they said when they were talking about the hardware console. They were saying that they have no concerns of releasing of that being delayed in itself. So I was just like, wow, okay, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool for them to know. It's but then I thought about it. I was like, so you didn't give us anything about your console at all. So how should we believe you on if this console is coming out this year? I mean, there's no price, there's no date, there's nothing. And then literally 4 hours later, Microsoft says something about it, and then Microsoft says delay is unlikely. Is unlikely because they got their supply chain back on rail, back in rails. So that means that now they are ahead. They're on schedule to release what they were planning on doing. And I was like, oh, okay, this is very, very interesting. So I was wondering overall, if this is because this is going to be in the distance. because like we're estimating that this release is going to be in October/November of this year.
Right.
So this is a good amount of time before the next gen comes out right now. Since it's March, but at the same time, it's very possible that like this there is very limited. Like the world that we're living in right now is still not going to be the same world that we were living at pre-coronavirus in 6 to 7 months. So I was just wondering, like, what y'all thought. Like, would it be something that y'all would still want to? Do y'all feel like this is something that it's out there far enough for them to be saying this now? Or do you believe them? Well, like, what do y'all have in y'all's mind if that's the case?
I think they can be optimistic about it. I think that's what they are being, but no one can really say what the climate's going to be 4 to 6 months from now. And I think that's when we'll get a legit, you know what I mean? There's just no way to say how it's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, but depending on where it's being manufactured, you could be cool in one place, but it's not cool over there or something like that. So it's just too many factors right now for them to be able to realistically say, yes, it's definitely coming out. I think they're just trying to be optimistic and keep people excited about it. But the real tell will be a month or two down the road and to look and see. I feel like a lot of people are right now just going to be in a hold pattern. I think it's going to be like this majority of the summer, just kind of being in a hold pattern, seeing how things play out, and then making decisions from there.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, can I just comment? The Xbox looks like my router, like my new and I've knocked that thing down about 6 times. I mean, it's cool. It doesn't look like roaches are going to get in there anymore. I can't tell you how many times working at Circuit I had to open because consoles weren't working properly. I had to open it and there was just roaches inside, and that's why it was overheating.
Well, that's gross.
Oh yeah, spiders, roaches. It's nasty.
Gross.
Animal fur. Clean your systems, y'all. It looks cool, but again, I'm not an Xbox user. I'm kind of PC master race now.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing, and I was explaining this to my little cousin because he wants to stream, which we had to cancel our fork knife. Sorry, guys. He was stuck in Dallas. So I think we might do it tomorrow. I gotta message him after this. But here's my thing: are they gonna have really any exclusive games besides Halo? Probably not. So I can download it on my computer and I can play it myself.
Yeah, that'll probably be on the Game Pass.
Exactly. And it's like, why would I bother buying a system? You know what I mean? I have no like, they look cool, but like, unless there's something that really entices me about it, I'm probably just not going.
But it goes back to, like I said, like what we were talking about last week, was that there's no reason to get an Xbox if you have a good gaming PC, because we know for a fact that the games that come out for Xbox is not going to be exclusively on the console. So you can get it, you will be able to play it on PC. So, but like games on the PS5, on the other hand, there are a lot of good like proprietary games. I mean, a ton of them. So, so I'm just saying that, like, overall, that like the reason why it would be the sole proprietary games that are exclusive to the system. So like that's why you don't have a feel of wanting to get it on the Xbox or on the Xbox.
Right.
But there should be a feel on the PlayStation, as you right now have a feel, and as well as you have a feel even on the Switch because of Animal Crossing. So
I hate all of you.
I'm just saying,
Animal Crossing.
But back to it though. Like overall, like to say that there's going to be a release, to say that they're close, quote unquote, closely monitoring it. Well, you know what? PlayStation said they're closely monitoring, but Microsoft says that they're back in production. So they clearly said they're back to production overall. So that's what I find very interesting to me on that, because that's a pretty bold statement in itself. So I was thinking like, wow, okay. So if they're able to say that now, let alone, we don't know like how shipping is going to be. We don't know how crazy that all this craziness is going to be happening, that may happen within that time frame. It's like, it's very interesting that they're trying to nip this so early in the bud when there's no like 100% confirmation of what's going to happen, you know. So
I I mean, unless there's factories are completely like self-automated, how can you you can't guarantee something like that, right? Like you have to have human testing. Are they chaining these people down? Like what's happening? I'm a little confused. Do they have them in like separate cubicles so they don't you know what I mean? Like
9 feet
how
apart.
are you right? I don't he's so upset. Will you grab him, please? Thank you. I just you know, I don't know how they're saying that. Oh boy.
I don't know how they're saying. I mean, I think again, it could be and I think depending on states or where these places are, I think some restrictions have been lifted.
They have to be overseas.
But there's still some sort of there's still a level of there's got to be at least some sort of level of there's got to be a way that they're getting around
because
it, you know what I mean?
Well, because manufacturing is obviously overseas on Sony and on Microsoft's parts. There's no way that those systems are being built here in the U.S.
Well,
but then, like even the trade like to Asia right now, it's been halted essentially. It's not halted, but it's a slow crawl right now for what's going on, because that's also messed me up with some of the companies that I talked to too. But like it's just that I don't see like how they can. I guess I just don't see how Microsoft can promise that. I mean, but they're a multi-billion-dollar company, so who knows? Like they have their ways. But yeah.
Well, Kitty, I mean, to Kitty's point, why is the Xbox 360 so expensive? But
teraflops, that's why.
Thing. Yeah, you can teraflops, stop it. You can upgrade your computer for you can build a computer or upgrade your own, which would be half the cost if you just upgrade it. But building a computer is going to be less than this new Xbox system, right?
You think so?
I mean, I think so. I mean, like logistically
they're gonna have
speaking,
to like almost sell it at a loss, honestly, to get people.
They usually do.
Upgrades I've done on my PC. Yeah, the upgrades I've done to my PC, I think I paid less than $800 with the custom build, and then the upgrades that I've done is less than $800. And I'm streaming, so I had to do the upgrades for quality purposes, but I didn't have to. If I'm not streaming, right, I'm just at home, I'm playing games, I'm an avid gamer, it was like $420. I
feel that this game system, I feel that this system will have to range around at the max at $6. Because of the reason why I say that is because PlayStation 3 was a really expensive system when that came out, and then when it came out, I believe there was one that was going for, I think it was $650 or $700, and they did horrible for like 2 years because of that. So I think that they're worried about that. That's why they're trying to keep that limit down to I won't be surprised if Microsoft has like for different versions to keep that price down. So like I think it's going to go to about. I think it's going to be an easy $500 or $600.
So
it's going to be.
Sorry, I think that because PlayStation talked about possibly, I think 2 models dropping day one.
Mm-hmm.
I think that base model would be like a $499, and then the Mega Deluxe gamer model will be $599. Are my thoughts as far as with that. Again, though, I also think they might be playing off of what Xbox, however they can easily undercut, waiting for Xbox to say here's what our thing or what our price is, and then they come in, and that's where I think that they would even be willing to take a loss because they felt the pain of going too high and suffering for years on the sales.
That's why I never ended up getting a PS4.
PS4 is great. I'm an avid PS user, even though Halo is my first like gaming console love.
Mm-hmm.
But here's let's be honest here. Now, if we're looking at how production works, okay, we'll break it down and use makeup as an example, right? Let's say you buy an eyeshadow palette.
Use makeup instead. Okay.
Well, but yeah, I mean it's the same concept, but this is made in the US, but let's say it's made overseas, okay? So you're cutting your costs by thirds when you do that, right? Mm-hmm. And they have to be doing overseas because in the US you have to close if you are non-essential business, right? So let's just put that out there. So overseas, this is like each eyeshadow like little pan is probably 5 cents to make. So then you sell it for at least $1.50, right? And that's how you add up your entire process of making a pallet. Now let's put that into computer parts. One little piece overseas is, again, maybe $1.50. So you're selling it at $5. So they're inflating their prices. They're not losing out on anything. Let me just tell you that. They aren't. Computer parts, they're making it overseas. They're getting a really good deal on each piece, and then they're taking that and shipping that to the main processing plant. So they're not getting a loss. Let's just be honest. They're making a huge profit on each and every device that they sell.
I don't know if they will on the first with the first gens, because usually on the first gens they literally don't get much on the sale.
But they're still making money.
Oh no, they definitely do. I just don't think that the profit margin is quite diminishing comparatively to the Gen 2 or the Gen 3s. Like the Gen, you can't say that the Gen 1 was generating the same, like a Gen 1 PS4 was generating the same price when they redesigned it to a cheaper lighter thing to the Gen 2. I'm just saying that like the reason why they do that is so they can quickly release this thing out in the market faster to market towards that. But like I think the amount of money that they get back towards it, it's a gain for us, but a corporation like Microsoft or Sony at that same level, it's like peanuts to them. And that's what I'm saying. Like because like when if a movie's budget was $90 million and then they got back their money and maybe, let's say, but their overall income back on that movie was $100 million or $110 million, would they consider that to be successful? No, because they didn't get nowhere near the amount of money that they got, they pumped into it. So like that's the reason, that's the mentality that I'm getting it with those kind of systems. Yeah, they're not getting like negative $50 for every system that they're selling. No, but it's still not good enough.
With the market though, like with movies, I feel like that's kind of to be expected. You never really know if it's going to blow up at the box office.
Oh no,
unless
exactly.
It's a Marvel movie, but or DC, because people will go hate watch. But I feel you know what I mean. Hey, Birds of Prey was good though. I'll be real with y'all. So I don't know. I feel like. They say, we didn't make that much, but like okay, let's say they're selling it for $4.99. I can tell you right now that they're paying less than $200 to make those devices. You know what I mean? And so yes, it's peanuts to them selling a device and only making, ooh, you got it, $200 off of it, but like. In the grand scheme of things, how many are they selling? So then, those peanuts turn into whatever. I don't know. They complain about not making that much money, and it's just like, shut your mouth. You guys are doing fine.
I think too. I mean, I think we could potentially be on the cusp of maybe potentially these being the last what we consider consoles. From these guys, you know what I mean? We've seen the moves that Sony made with dealings with Microsoft to be able to tap into their infrastructure. I guarantee over this next cycle, we're going to be seeing some major developments as far as cloud gaming and how far it can go. We've seen people trying to push the boundaries. We've talked about GeForce Now, but they've had struggle as far as getting developers to stay on it. But they're definitely on to things, and I think other people are going to be trying to, or are already trying to catch up and then be able to have a release to where consoles aren't even needed anymore. You're just throwing down on a subscription or something, and again, I don't know that things will completely phase out because people always have an affinity for having physical things like that. But I can see that, you know what I mean, that next wave, this next generational push as far as video games and gaming in general and connecting, socializing is all going to be cloud-based. And they're definitely going to be working hard this next cycle to get us there, I think.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. All right, let's wrap this sucker up. Lex, what do you have up for grabs this week for you?
Oh, well, Adam just said he's buying Doom Eternal, so I'm going to go punch him, knock him out, and play it. No,
you streaming that?
I'm not... maybe. Possibly. He's home. So Adam is home and doing his thing. So we're kind of working out because I'll go to sign in into his account thinking he's not here, and he is. So certain games are off limits for me this week, but we'll definitely be doing some fun things. I have some new games. So we'll play those this week. I'm going to keep it secret. Spoopy Tuesday, of course, will happen. I'm not sure what's going on for tomorrow. We may play Fork Knife. We'll see. I got to talk to the little and see what he wants to do. But yeah, I'm probably going to go grab Dax and go snuggle in bed with him because he's not feeling good and play some Persona 5 for today. Keep him company.
Yeah, okay, that's good. Also, what's your Twitch?
Twitch.tv. This_is_Lex.
All right, awesome. Smitty, what do you got? What do you have for the week?
Nothing special planned. We'll see. Obviously, we're not going to be able. I was planning on Thursday doing Last Oasis again. But we'll see. I have to. We might go back to like Home Sweet Home or something. I still have that left to finish, but we'll figure something out. Or maybe like Destiny 2. And then like always, Friday will be on Overwatch, of course. And then hopefully I'm able to. Things should be slowing down.
Maybe some comp.
I definitely want. Well, I was talking about doing some comp here afterward. Maybe if you guys are digging it down.
No, I'm not.
That'd be great.
Not you. You're not invited.
But yeah. So I'll probably keep it. Hopefully this week I'm really gonna focus on building my desk. I've had it for like 3 weeks. It is literally sitting in 2 boxes up here. I have not been able to have it or been able to get to it. Just been super busy at work. So with some of those projects finished and whatnot, I should be able to focus on some other things. And then some behind the scenes stuff. So yeah, that's kind of what the week looks like for me.
Lexa, this extra life, we need to do Monster Prom, dude. I was just thinking about it. I totally
absolutely.
Yeah, Kitty Mew just reminded me when he saw that. I was like, I'm putting it on the list if we do that. But we're definitely doing Monster Prom.
I have it, so we can definitely play Monster Prom, and I have all the DLCs.
Yeah.
They message me quite a lot, so maybe that's what we'll do this week. Maybe we'll play some Monster Prom. Guys.
That's cool. All right, and CFG Games. I'm going to be back. Back with some streaming this week finally after some this hiatus. So like it's probably going to be more at the end of the week, but we're going to probably play some more what was I playing before? Astral Chains. That's what it was. Astral Chains on the Switch on the weekday, and then on Saturday we're going to do an anime game. We're doing One Piece Pirate Warriors 4 with the group of us. So that was always fun. So definitely check us out, CFG Games. Faye, you want to sport out yours too?
Sure. You can find me twitch.tv/Pompadour Princess. I am being the world's worst mod right now because I don't know why this didn't copy and paste right. It worked fine all the other times, but no.
I'm gonna add. I need to add shortcuts. It'll be a lot easier for you. So
for sure.
Yeah, we'll definitely add shortcuts.
I was playing a ton of Don't Starve Together with my friends the other night.
Yeah, and I might join you.
Yeah, Lex might join.
Yes.
I totally have that game.
I know.
Definitely, especially right now because I'm not working at the moment.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Definitely gonna be working on streaming more, getting it more. Regular.
Yeah, I don't have a shout out command at all on this channel yet, but we will.
Yeah, we don't have the commands yet.
Yeah, so but guys, thanks for stopping by.
There's everyone's Twitch and Twitter. Sorry.
Yeah, we're gonna close off episode 41 as always. Thank you for stopping by. You can always check out every episode. We release it on podcast services on Monday mornings. So you could definitely check it out at CFG Gamecast on on Google or Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, or Podbean. Go to the website, thecfg.net. Click link. The link is below. And we will see you again next week with a new episode. We're going to be bringing a special guest on this one, so it's going to be a 4-panel one. Hopefully, everyone is going to enjoy it. It's going to be on Sunday, so definitely tune in on this around the same time. So this is Davis, Smitty, and Lex signing off. Y'all have a great night.